So now we're recording. So, oh, there's a lot going on here. Hold on. My freaking mouse is all over the place. All right. So, 95% of people are going to tell you no. Now, the average lead is going to convert between month 6 and month 12. So it could take 6 months to actually get leads to that point. Most agents touch online leads 1.2 times. Well, I tried to call and they didn't answer, so I moved on. Well, I sent an email and they didn't reply, so I guess it's a shit lead. Well, no. Average leads convert at 7.6 touches. That's the importance of a nurture campaign, of email marketing, which we've spent a whole session talking about a month ago. So all things you want to keep in mind. Now, as I mentioned, sometimes you'll get leads. Now, we had a lead in 2022 that signed up, and I apologize for swearing. First name, fuck. Last name, off. Bad phone number. Would anybody agree that that's probably not a great lead? Anybody? First name, fuck. Last name, off. No phone number. 555-5555. But we did have an email address. So everybody who put their hand up saying that was a bad lead, we converted it. It was a $960,000 purchase. We converted fuck off. Every email that they got was like, hey, fuck. We noticed you've been doing 8. I know, this sounds funny even saying it. And it was about a year or so later. My ISA at the time, his name was Joe Langdon. This random phone call comes in. Hey, thanks for calling, Sims Real Estate Group. This is Joe Langdon. Hey, man, you just sent me a property. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I've been getting your updates, and I'd love to sit down because this is it. This is it. When can I see it? Hey, you know what? Let me just pull up your profile here. It is a membership-based site. Can I grab your first name? Dead silence. Dead silence. Yes, it was a bit of an interesting conversation. Yes, we converted fuck off. As long as you have one piece of viable contact information, it is a good lead. Don't turn your back. Just because you got a fake name or a bad email address, how's the phone number? So remember, your leads don't suck. There's a good chance that it's your processes that are broken. Stay diligent, my friends. So let's talk about lead conversion. Let's talk about how to get to that 5%. Number one, you got to understand that the process we're going to talk about, you can use with anything. Regardless of how the lead comes in, all you're doing is you're just changing the introduction. Everything else is the same. Regardless of the type of property, regardless if it's an investor, or is it a vacation home, or is it a second home, is it a primary home, first-time homeowner, it is the same process every time. All you need to do is change the language. So what is it about your situation that's changed that makes now the ideal time to be curious about a vacation home? What is it about now what is it about the timing right now that makes it ideal for you to be curious about being a first-time homeowner? As long as we're getting into those open-ended questions, it doesn't matter how the lead came in, irregardless. It also doesn't matter how old the lead is. I get this all the time. Yeah, but Joe, I'm working some leads that are 2 years old. They didn't just sign up on the site. Tweak the language. Hey, I noticed you signed up on our site a while back. Wanted to show you some gratitude. I'm the concierge at the back end. I'm the one who's been sending you the updates. So what was it about your home that wasn't working for you that had you signing up on our site back in 2016? Doesn't matter. Same process. Don't overthink it. Do not overcomplicate it. So our marketing pillars, for us, major part was paid lead generation. I think that every healthy business needs it. Because sphere referral will only get you so far, and there is an element of luck and timing involved with sphere and referral, but you need to have somewhere where you've got that active marketing pillar where when you go to sleep, you wake up and you've got something to do. So whether you're boosting Facebook ads, which again is not really where I like to see people allocate their money, because that is a definition of disruptive marketing, you need something that's active, something that's constantly running, something that's constantly generating you opportunities. You wake up in the morning, hey, 2 people couldn't sleep last night and signed up. I have something to do. So really important for us, our marketing pillars were paid lead generation, social media presence, sphere, and referral, and then a very small element of YouTube. So let's talk a little bit about what's important. Now, these are kind of like the word, when I say the word table stakes, I hope everybody sort of knows what that means. It's like a gambling term for anybody who's been to Vegas, going to Vegas soon. Happy almost birthday, Jake. So super important to understand. Table stakes are like the table minimum. Like, you know, you say, oh, this is a $5 table. This is a $2 table. That's the bare minimum. So table stakes for picking up the phone and calling people, you need to understand these very simple pieces. Now, I shouldn't say they're simple because they're actually like kind of complex strategies. And there's only one way to determine where you need the most support. And I'm going to show you where that is. So number one, building rapport over the phone. This sounds very, very elementary, but these are also findings that I see when I'm doing my scripting sessions. Now, I've talked about this number quite a bit, 7,530. Does anybody know why the number 7,530 is important? Can anybody give me some context? Why is that number important?
Scripting numbers. How much time you spent doing it?
That's how many minutes I spent scripting in 2025. I spent 7,530 minutes in scripting. This is what I learned from doing 7,530 minutes over the last 7 years. Number one, warm greeting. Think back to the last person that called you that wanted you to change your cell phone plan. Even the last person knocking water bottles here, getting excited. Even the last person that called you to try to get your social insurance number because Revenue Canada or the IRS was after you. Could have even been a scam. There's a good chance they were missing that warm tone. Would have been a different call if they were like, hey, Antonio, Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group. You would have been like, what? Huh? Do I know you? It is very important to lead with that friendly, welcoming tone. One of the worst things people can do in lead conversion is monotone in the beginning. You want to create that disruptive pattern of like, wait a sec, do I know you? Hey, it's Manish calling from Matrix team right here in Regina. Man, no one wants to talk to that guy. Hey, it's Manish calling from Matrix team right here in Regina. Huh? So create that disruptive tone. You would be shocked how many agents actually notice an uptick in how far you can push that conversation with disruption in the beginning. Be energetic. Catch people off guard. Number two is active listening. When you ask a question and you get an answer, acknowledge it. Don't ask a question for the sake of getting an answer to just ask the next question. Right? Hey, Lane, how's it going today? Oh, good. Great, Joe. How are you? So what are you up to today? Oh, that's awesome, man. Awesome to hear, right? Like, you finesse the conversation a little bit. As soon as you start actively listening and engaging in the responses, oh, 2 dogs? I only have one. I have a pug. What kind of dog do you have? Right? As soon as you start creating that level of back and forth, that like almost like that miniature banter, well, what happens? It starts creeping downwards. The name of the game in this whole entire process is a decrease in sales resistance. Next is demonstrating credibility. I've done this before. How do we do that? How do we demonstrate credibility? Well, you can write it there in the introduction. I mean, depending on how I say this all the time. I'm kind of like the concierge at the back end of the system. So one of the things I love doing is reaching out to people who've signed up on the site, making sure I'm not cluttering up their email inbox. I've done this before. You can also demonstrate credibility in how we handle objections over the phone. Oh, I'm just browsing. Hey, you know what? Thank you so much for letting me know. I really appreciate that. You know, a lot of my clients in the past, they actually started their home search by just browsing as well. Congrats. Wish everybody did their research ahead of time. So let me ask you, right? I've done this before. Give value. Now, value is an interesting piece. I talk a lot about this in a lot of different sessions. When you're talking to a client or a prospect, how many people here say, well, I deliver value? Or even it's important to find value. Who here leads with value? Anybody? Every hand should be up. Who leads with value? Or are you just talking to people for the sake of talking to people? Value. Lead with value. Well, what's value? Value in real estate can be looked at with 4 lenses. Number 1, my job is to either make you money or save you money. Number 2, my job is to help save you time. Number 3, my job as a real estate agent is to help you mitigate risk. Number 4, my job as a real estate agent is to give you the most amazing client experience that you would get nowhere else. That is how you demonstrate value in real estate. One of those buckets. Give an item of value. I'm the concierge at the back end of the site. My job is to save you time and narrow down the searches that are coming your way. Okay. See how it's all interconnected. Choose your words very, very carefully. Now, there's 2 schools of thought. And for me, I kind of ride like in between. I always say to my kids, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. Right? Can we all agree on that? Anybody have teenagers? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Not always what you say, it's how you say it. But at the same time, language is very important. Words like just. Now, there's some people here who probably get some PTSD over the word just. I say the word just, you piss yourself and forget your name. Oh my God, Joe, just. Hey, funny thing is that congratulations. That means you showed up in some scripting sessions and you learned about language and how important it is. Nothing will derail your conversation faster than issues with language. Hey, it's just Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group. I just wanted to take a few minutes because it's just really important. Well, it sounds like I'm almost begging for the conversation. You can have the most assertive tone and your language can just destroy it. Hey, it's just Joe calling and I'm just calling today. Well, what is just saying? Just is saying like, please, can I please let me finish. I just, it's like the most Canadian thing anybody can say. Kind of like, I want to be here, but I just like, I want to apologize first. Get that word out. How do you exercise that demon? You show up to scripting. Another word people love to use, awesome. Oh, so yeah, you've got 2 cats and a dog. Awesome. All right, well, and what was your wife's name? Jennifer? Awesome. Great. Everybody has a word that falls out of their mouth. But what does it do? It derails the message. Other thing that always gets me. Hey, this is Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group. How's it going? How are you? You got a few minutes for me? Guess what the answer is? No, I'm not good. I'm at work. No, I don't have a few minutes for you. Awesome way to, again, derail it from the beginning and invite an objection before it's time. You want to be so calculated as to when that objection comes into the conversation. So calculated. But if you ask a closed-ended question in the beginning, do you have a minute for me? Did I catch you at a good time? It's never a good time. Never a good time. That doesn't exist. How are you? Now, it's, again, the ultimate polite thing to ask. Hey, Amit, it's Joe calling from the Nova team. How's it going, man? Right, again, we're inviting an objection before it's time. Now, naturally, when you call somebody will be like, hey, man, how's it going? Best answer? Great, thanks for asking. So I'm kind of the concierge at the back end of the site, and I really want to make sure that I'm saving you the most. I'm great. Thanks for asking. Cut it off. Move forward. One of my favorite things about our script is we ask about previous real estate experiences. I love this. Understand what's worked, understand what hasn't worked. It is the most glossed and skipped over question in our entire repertoire. So talk to me about your previous real estate experiences. What'd you like? What didn't you like? If anybody's had a bad experience, They will glue onto that question and they will give you a blueprint of what worked and what didn't work. It is my one of my top 5 questions. Okay, talk to me about those previous experiences. Oh man, I had this age. Oh Jesus, here's what happened. Well, guess what? Now you know what's important. No pressure. Always put their interests ahead of yours. Don't even think about launching a recommendation until you've understood the why. Understand the why, right? Understand the where, the when, the how, the who. Get that out first. Identify a need and smile. Some people have such a death grip on these leads. This is Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group right here in Nanaimo. Wanted to thank you for signing up on our site. Wow. Like talking to your parole officer or something. Smile. People can hear a smile. A smile will turn your script into a conversation. Smile. Hey, it's Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group right here in Nanaimo. Thank you so much for signing up on our site. Appreciate it. That's simple. Smile. It's the same words. Tone changed because I'm doing this. Hi, me. Smile. People like to, again, talk to people that they like. Make it easy. So all of these items will help you flesh out, along with the script, the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, the why. Now, out of the who, what, why, when, where, how, one is the most important. There's one thing you need to ascertain from a first point of contact. Who thinks they know what's most important? Who, what, when, where, why, or how? What's the most important? Yeah, Ruth, what do you got?
I'm going to go with why.
Oh, you're going with why? Okay. Would anybody disagree with that? All right.
I do.
Barbara, what do you think?
I think it's who.
Right.
You had to bring in all the parties and get all their opinions.
Yeah, that's super
Sorry,
important.
Ruth.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh no, that's why we're talking about it. This is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Some people think it's the what, right? It's identifying like the dream, like what's next, getting people excited about what's next. Some people say it's like the when. Well, if somebody's like 5 years out, I mean, this isn't going to work. Somebody declared bankruptcy yesterday. Like there's not really much I can do. Some people think it's the how. Well, I want to make sure people are like pre-qualified before I'm showing homes. So for me, the most important, and again, like I'm one dude who's been doing this a long time. The most important is actually the why. And I'll tell you why. Tell you why the why for me is the most critical. Now they're all very, very important. When you can understand the why and you can unlock the motivation, the if becomes the when. If they're going to make a move, if they're going to make a change, it becomes when are we solving this problem together? And the together, to your point, Barbara, is the who. When you understand the why, everything else opens up because the why, it isn't going to change. A 5th bedroom isn't going to manifest. The space problem won't fix itself. So it's so important that we understand the why. When you can understand the need, that is when you know you've gotten to the heart of the issue. So it's always about trying to get to the why. Now, what are some things we can do to try to find the why? Before we get to that, here's some things that you can do to derail the conversation. So these are your conversational red flags during the first point of contact. Number 1, closed-ended questions. Are you looking for a condo? No. Okay. What about a townhouse? No. Well, can you at least just say warm or cold? What about what is this? What is this? Oh. Almost sounds like, hey, I got a watch. Hey, I got a car. Hey, I got this. Hey, I got that. Hey, oh. It's really hard to build a conversation off of yes, no, no, yes, no, green, 42, 63, yes, no, yes. Plus, also, what can you start to feel like an interrogation? But it's really hard to build rapport when people are giving you very short answers. Open up the questions. Number 2, zero tone. Nobody wants to talk to this guy. If I showed up like this every single session, who here's seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Remember Ferris Bueller's teacher? Bueller. And ain't nobody want to be in that session. Well, it's just like your prospects don't want to talk to this person. Tone. Another thing that'll destroy rapport over the phone. This is my least favorite question in the whole world. I wish I could like erase this from people's like just brains altogether. Are you working with an agent? Ugh. Are you pre-approved? Are you buying in the next 90 days? Get those out. There's better ways to ask. Yeah, I'm working with an agent. Oh. Okay, now what? You pre-approved? No. I can help. Are you buying in the next 90 days? No. You sure? Like this, you have nowhere to go. You've painted yourself in a corner as a salesperson. So I'm going to show you how to get through those questions in a more efficient way. But what's happening is this is fishing for a recommendation before you've understood a need. You are completely severing the conversation before you've actually had one. Another one is steamrolling objections. So, honestly, I'm just browsing. Okay, cool. So what is it about your home that's not working for you that's got you just browsing? No, like I said, I'm actually working with an agent. Oh, awesome. So who's making this move with you? No, I told you, I'm working with an agent. Cool. So are you pre-approved? Like, are you listening? Are you actually like, can you hear me? Like, again, is this thing on? So super important. When you get an objection, you handle an objection. 1-to-1. You get an objection, you handle the objection, and you move forward. A lot of people pretend that they don't hear it. Well, if I keep talking and I smile and I sound really nice, I got a feeling they might not be browsing. Well, no, it's gonna come up. And when you steamroll an objection, you could theoretically have a great 5-10 minute conversation. You have an awesome conversation. But when you get to your recommendation, guess what? That thing's going to rear its head again because you didn't handle it. You just kind of deflected it and it's going to come back. Also, micro recommendations. Now, a micro recommendation is this. So let me ask you, talk to me about that approved mortgage amount that you've got in hand. Well, I haven't talked to a broker yet. Oh, I've got 3 that you're going to love. I can get those over to you right now. So who else is involved in making this decision with you? Oh, my wife, Jennifer. Okay, cool. How do I spell that? What's her number? Is she available to actually pop on the call right now? Yeah, I'd love to actually loop her in right away. Huh? I was going in for the kill, fast. So micro recommendations, they find their way in there. Yeah, I'm actually looking at doing something in the next 6 months. Cool, I'd love to help with that. Oh, I can do that. I can help. Get the micro recommendations out. All you're doing is creating, again, a level of sales resistance. Now, let's kind of switch from real estate world. Let's talk about something else. Let's say I wanted a TV. I need a TV. And so I walk into Best Buy or, again, wherever I'm going to buy a TV. I walk into the TV department and I say, hey, so I'm looking for a TV. Oh, yeah, I got one for you. This is exactly the one you want. It's actually 25% off right now. Check it out. This bad boy is 55 inches. I don't need anything that big. Okay, cool. Well, I actually have a 45 inch as well. It is just as good as the 55. Oh, yeah, that's still way too big. Okay, well, I have a 30-inch TV too. Yeah, this is the one you need. Well, no, it's for a kitchen. By the time they get to that third micro recommendation, I'm like, they're just trying to sell me something. They don't care what I actually want. I might as well just done it online and ordered it through Amazon. I shouldn't have even come in. But this is what clients and prospects fear, are those micro recommendations that they need to keep telling you no. Get those things out. And just to confirm, nobody's doing that, right? Just making sure. Making sure. All right. So one of the greatest acronyms in lead conversion, FORD, FORD. Here is how you build rapport over the phone. Four things you need to know to label it a freaking amazing conversation. Number one, family. The who? Who else is making this move with you? How does Jen feel about this upcoming move? How's your current home working for your family? If I was to ask them some of the issues that they're having, what would they say? How has space impacted that for your family? F, family. Find out about family. One of the common missed things I hear is I'm like, yeah, so it's my wife and I and our kids. Okay, cool. So let's talk about mortgage pre-approval. So a good way to combat that is, oh, your wife. What was her name? So many times people, oh, your wife, your husband, your spouse, your partner, your brother, your sister. Get a name. Make it personal. Family. Oh, occupation. Hey, what do you do for work? You working from home, commuting, bit of both? Talk to me. How has that space impacted you at work? How is your job impacting your timing to move? Right? A lot of people relocating. A lot of people here work with Department of National Defense. You work with police, fire, all that kind of fun stuff. Find out what people do for work. Be interested. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, actually, I got a buddy who's a fire chief over in Surrey, actually. Yeah, cool. R, recreation. What do you do for fun when you're not working? Super easy. Great way to, and one thing I absolutely love is this question. So what is it about that area that's tugging at your heartstrings? Well, it's like close to hiking and trails and this and that. Oh, amazing. What trails do you like to hike? Oh, it's close to a beach. It's close to this. It's close to that. Close to the airport because I like to travel. Oh, awesome. Where do you like to travel? Understand family, occupation, recreation. This is a big one. Dreams. That's simple. Now, a lot of people on this call at some point before you decided that you wanted to come and hang out with me every day of your life, you and I might have jumped on a call. You might have jumped on a call with my former business development manager, Ryan Zinger. And we would have asked you one question. What does success look like for you over the next year? In an ideal world, talk to me. What kind of goals are you looking at? Understand dreams. What is that next step? What could this look like? In an ideal world, paint me a picture. If we were to walk through that home that ticks all the boxes, what would we see together? I love that question. Get that big dream. What is it? Be for an investment property. Hey, so for an investment property to tick all the boxes, what would we need to see together? Paint me a picture. That vacation home to really make sense. Paint me a picture. What would we need to see together? Have people walk you through. Some people will even say, yeah, so I'd want to pull up. I really want to be in a gated community. I want to be able to pull up, like park a car. I had a vacation property before and I'd like park at a carport. I had to walk in, carrying groceries and this and that, or my investment property, I want to make sure that there's like at least 2 parking spaces. That's important. I want to make sure the elevator access, go in, close to schools. That's like, people will paint you the picture if you give them the canvas. But when you deny them those tools, it's really hard and you're stuck kind of like guessing. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Here are some sample questions that are even outside of the script if you struggle with that. This slide is worth taking a picture of. Have this slide. And again, everybody will have these slides. I got you. But between now and when I actually publish the damn things, which will be next Wednesday, you need this. This is how you build rapport over the phone. Those 4 areas. Next thing to understand, see, like there's a lot that goes into this. Hey, you guys thought I was going to throw a script up and go, all right, so call me. No, that's scripting. That's Fight Club. This is theory. So sympathy versus empathy. Is there anybody who's like, how am I going to put this without actually calling people out? Ah, fuck it. I'm going to call people out. Anybody struggle with the difference between sympathy and empathy? Anybody? Oh, wow. You're an empathetic lot. All right. Welcome to Coaching with You. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to make you tell me what the difference between sympathy and empathy is. There you go. So sympathy is really like feeling for somebody. Like, oh, wow. Like that sucks. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry that happened. So anyway, empathy is, wow, that's like really hard. I can imagine that's been a struggle. Thank you for communicating that. I'm really happy that you told me. I'm glad you had an opportunity to share. That's hard. Oh, man, it's tough. See the difference? It's feeling with somebody. With versus for. Now, again, everybody here apparently is 10 out of 10 on sympathy versus empathy. So for anybody who's not, maybe you're like, well, maybe I could use it. Maybe I'm a 9.5 out of 10, Joe. There is one of the most amazing YouTube videos I've ever seen in my life. And trust me, I've watched a lot of people fall off bikes on YouTube. And this is even better than that. So there's a YouTube video. It's by one of my favorite speakers of all time. Her name is Brene. Brenee. Brene Brown. Manish is like shaking his head. He's like, yeah, you seen that video, Manish? My guy. Brene Brown. She's amazing.
I have.
My man. She did a TED Talk. It's got to be about 10 years ago now, where she talked about empathy. And it's now a YouTube video. But what somebody did is they took her talk and they animated it. And there's a bear, a deer, and like an elk or something, some random woodland creature. And it's called, it's a super complicated title. It's Brene Brown, and the title is Empathy. So you can look it up. It's a 2-minute video. I showed it to my kids. I've probably showed it to my kids 100 times. But this video taught me the difference between sympathy and empathy. So premise of the video, there's like a hole in the ground, and this deer falls in the hole. And like Brene's like talking about it, but somebody's just sort of animated the TED Talk. So this like deer has fallen in the hole. It's just chilling in there and it's dark. And this elk pops its head over and it's like, whoa, damn, that's a pretty dark hole you got down there. Looks scary. You want a sandwich? That's sympathy. Empathy is the bear comes along, looks down the hole, puts a ladder down. Bear climbs down the ladder and bear's like, wow, it's super dark in this hole. I'm just going to sit with you here until you're comfortable about moving up. That's empathy. This video could bring you to tears because you're going to sit there and go, all the times that people have shared something with me and I've shown sympathy. When you understand this concept, it makes embracing the why in lead conversion so much easier. Space is an issue. Oh, that's tough. Wait, thanks. Really appreciate you sharing that with me. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Empathy builds connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Yeah, cool, but oh, that sucks. Oh, shitty. Oh, no. So keep that in mind when you're picking up the phone and talking to strangers. Empathy lives outside of the script. You need to bring that to the call. So, telephone process. Here it is. In its infinite wisdom. You lead with an introduction. Hey, it's Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group. Thank you so much for grabbing the call today. Appreciate it. And, thank you so much for signing up on our site. That's awesome. Hey, so I'm the concierge at the back end of the system. My job, save you some time, narrow down the results that are coming your way. So again, there's a value statement. My job is to save you some time. My job is to run a membership-based site and make sure that you've got all the tools and resources that us as real estate agents have. What's the value? And starting to think open-ended questions. Once you've launched an introduction, proceed to the interview. The old LP mama. Location, price, motivation, approved mortgage amount, budget. Are they working with an agent? But Joe, you told me not to ask that. Oh, it's going to come out in talk to me about your previous experiences in real estate. They're going to tell you what's going on right now, what has happened and what is happening. And you want to keep the very focused questions. As soon as somebody's like, oh yeah, so it's just me and my dog. Oh, what kind of dog do you have? A German Shepherd. Oh my God, I have one too. Mine's name was Dusty. What's your dog's name? How old's your dog? Did you go to training school? What kind of food you feeding that thing? You'll find really quickly that conversation, that son of a bitch going to get derailed real quick. Toot sweet. It'll happen fast before you even know it. Number 3 is recap. Most commonly skipped phase in the telephone process. Before you launch a recommendation, do you understand the need? What have you missed? You might not have asked if a swimming pool is important, but if you don't recap and tell the story and it is important and you missed it, what's going to happen to every one of those searches that go their way that is missing a swimming pool or a double car garage or as a new build? What is going to happen when you think you understand? Because there's a lot of time, I've been married a very long time, and there's a lot of times I thought I understood the issue, but turns out I had no clue what the issue is. I made an assumption. So who can tell me what happens when we make an assumption? You may want to take a stab at that one. What happens? Talk to me about assumptions. Come on, share with me some infinite wisdom. What do they say about assumptions?
Make an ass out of you and me.
Make an ass. Ever heard that before? Make an assumption. Make an ass out of you and me. I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say assumptions are the mothers of all fuck-ups. Every mess up in human history has been birthed forward by an assumption. Well, I thought that would work. I assumed, like, yeah, it sounds right, so I ran with it. No. Assume you know nothing about that prospect. Assume, and this is a very, very negative way of looking at it, but it's very realistic. My dad, the old man, old Peter Moretti, he was in the car industry 41 freaking years. My dad's like the ultimate like sales guy, like negotiator. My dad has bought cars, sold cars. My dad was part owner of a car dealership. My dad, like he's done it all. And the one piece of advice that my dad gave me when it comes to sales or advisory or whatever it is, it's the only time a prospect isn't lying to you is when their lips aren't moving. Believe that. The only time you're not being lied to at a first point of contact is when their lips aren't moving. How do you fix that? You make sure everybody's on the same page through a recap. Next is a recommendation. This is how you close the conversation off. Now, one of my favorite things, regardless of a recommendation, I got a couple recommendations that we're going to talk about, but always. So you wrote one acronym down. I hope you did. FORD, Family, Occupation, Recreation, Dreams. Why don't you write one more acronym for me? BAMFAM, BAMFAM, BAMFAM. Y'all want the price of admission right here, right now? Here it is. Anytime you are talking to a prospect, anytime you're talking to a client, BAMFAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. That should be on a sticky note on your computer. It should be everywhere. Yeah. So you're going to call me back? Cool. Yeah. Let's chat next week. Huh? Book a meeting from a meeting. This is how you keep all parties invested and accountable. Every recommendation comes with BAMFAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. Every recommendation has it. If a recommendation doesn't have it, then it's a light suggestion that will be ignored. It's a very pessimistic way of looking. I'm sorry, but it is also very realistic. My job is that you don't contribute to that 0.5% in lead conversion. You rise above. What's letting you down is not booking a meeting from a meeting. And for a lot of you, this has happened. Again, talking to them, I was like, all right, cool. So, oh yeah, Joe, I'll give you a shout next week and let you know. No. We're going to get together on this date at this time. So my good buddy Antonio, my good friend Antonio said to me about 3 weeks ago now, we're sitting there chilling in Mexico. And I was like, he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to take advantage of what you do and all this kind of fun stuff and love to learn more about your program. I was like, cool. We're getting together on the 19th. On the 19th, here's where we're discussing it. All right, awesome. Oh, yeah, we'll chat next week. Book a meeting from a meeting. It is so important. Most critical overlooked piece in real estate. Second most critical piece in real estate that everybody's missing, practice. Practice. Yeah, we're not talking about a game. I'm not talking about what you're doing on the phone or your client results, your lead conversion. I'm talking about practice. Yeah, I'm talking about practice. Anybody know who this guy is? Any takers? Or is this just some random dude with a Red Sox hat? Who is this? Anybody?
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson. Illy Al from Philly Dal, one of my favorite basketball players of all time. Practice. You need to be spending 60 minutes in practice for every 1 minute that you think you're going to be delivering a script. Let's break it down. Lead conversion. A lead conversion conversation should take anywhere from about 7 to 15 minutes. You need 7 to 15 hours of practicing that script to say that you are capable to put the paper aside and actually have a conversation. 1 minute equals 60 minutes of practice. Because what you do in practice is what you're currently doing over the phone. And for anybody who has sat in on any of the scripting, there was a guy in scripting this morning. I wish he was actually here on this call. His name is Shirag, one of our newest students. So Shirag joined us yesterday. Shirag rolls into scripting. Of course, we call it Fight Club, right? So if it's first time at Fight Club, you've got to fight. So Shirag rolls in, give him the lead conversion script. I don't want to say I beat the hell out of the guy, but we talked. We had some feedback. One of his biggest pieces of feedback is he was falling for the, hey, how are you? Hey, Shirag, how are you? Guy rolls into scripting today. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, it's Shirag calling. Wait, can I do it over again? It took him about 30 seconds to find his very first mechanical issue. First day, he learned. So what you're currently doing by not practicing and practicing with your clients is all you're doing is churning and burning leads, hoping for a little bit of luck, and you're relying, well, I did what I always did. Well, congratulations. Good news, bad news, you're going to get what you always got. Where you cut your teeth is in practice. Kobe Bryant, one of my all-time heroes, Kobe wanted to be the greatest in basketball. So where did he spend 6 to 8 hours a day? Practice. They call that the Mamba mentality. Practice. Get into practice. It's not enough to sit here and just listen to me yammer on for 60 minutes. So here's what our lead conversion script looks like. Now, we're not going to sit here and read through it over because guess where we do that? Practice. But I want to highlight the different areas of the script. So we follow the telephone process in every single one of our scripts, whether it's a sign call, whether it's an internet lead conversion call. At the top, you got an introduction. Hey, hi on, it's Joe calling from the Sims Real Estate Group right here in Mississauga. Want to thank you for signing up on our website today. One of the best features is actually the save search function. Yep, giving you a call today, go through your search criteria, narrow it down. Want to save you some time on those listings that are coming your way. Then you see a little gray line. Now we've gone into the next phase, just the interview. So let me ask you, what is it about your current home that's not quite working for you? Got you exploring some other options. My favorite question in real estate. That's my top one. My favorite question of all time. That's it. Hey, so how long have you been looking to do A, B, and C? Hey, so talk to me. What are the areas that are important to you? What is it about those areas that are drawing you there? What type of home are you looking for? Who's making the move with you? Oh, how do they feel about the move? Sorry, what was your partner's name again? Again, like just very easy, light, traditionally open-ended questions. Now, you might, Most people may not be able to make it through all, 14, 15, 20 of those questions, how many questions are there? And that's okay. But this will help you find F, O, R, D. And it's really hard to sit there and like read this off of a script as you're having a conversation and you're taking notes and you're trying to ask open-ended questions and you're trying to actively listen, and it's not always going to come together, and that's okay. Anybody here like to hike? Anybody go hiking? Hikers, outdoor people. Okay. That's my personal hell. I hate the outdoors. What if something's on TV and they never show it again? Like, you're going to miss it. That's why I don't go camping. Like, there could be sports on somewhere. There's horses racing. There's people playing cricket. Like, somebody has to watch that. That's why I don't go hiking. But for all y'all that go hiking, some of you do this wilderness shit. My marketing guy, D'Artagnan Patricio, he goes on these like 2-day hikes. He puts like stuff in his knapsack. And then he's like, off he goes, hiking into the woods. So again, that's not me, man. That's like bear food waiting to happen. But when Dart goes hiking, Dart takes a map, right? A little top, maybe it's a map. It's an app, not an app, like, or an app, not a map. And he also takes a compass. I mean, he's not hiking and staring at the compass. He's not hiking and staring at the map. He's using it as a guide point, as a reference. So with this, try not to, like, you could sit there and read from the script, but it's like hiking. If you're staring at the map and the compass, we're going to miss all the great scenery that's passing you by. When you only stare at the script, you're going to be focused on the next question. You're not going to be focused on the responses. Use this as your map, as your compass. This will always point you true north. It'll always keep you directionally correct in a conversation. That's simple. So we can see the interview section below that. I want to recap to make sure we're on the same page. It sounds like blah, 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 blah. Is there anything that I've missed? So let's deep dive the recap section. Again, the most overlooked piece. This is where you understand the need. This is where you're like an artist. People are giving you all the information and you're painting this beautiful picture. Now you're showing it to them. Is this it? So here's what a recap sounds like. So Joe, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I want to recap. It's really important that we're on the same page. Sounds like you, Jennifer, the 2 kids, plus all those cats, you guys are looking at making a bit of a move. You know, you're hunting for your next forever home in the south end of town. An ocean view is a must. You want to be close to Nanaimo District Secondary School and nothing further south than that. You're really looking for that 5 bedrooms. That is a must. And you, for you really wanted to have for the first time ever, like that huge spacious kitchen to entertain your friends. You know, we haven't figured out the pre-qualification yet, but Jen works at the bank, which means she it sounds like she has that covered. I know we're early on, but it sounds like you're excited and you're looking around that $1.2 to $1.3 million range. You've had some rough experiences with real estate before. I was really sad to hear about that. And right now, we're not sure what our current home is worth because we picked it back up in 2022 and we haven't really had a chance to sit down and figure out what the equity position looks like. Is there anything that I've missed? That is how you recap a conversation. So looks like you, Jen, the kids, the cats, making a move, 1.2, haven't done anything. No, it's a story. Western culture is built on a narrative. It's not built on a checklist. Tell the story. And what you'll see is you'll see your prospects' eyes roll back in their head like yesterday. They'd be like, no, that's it. Oh, wait, no, one more thing. Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, no. The last house, when we were at 5975 Stillwater, it actually only had a single car garage. So I'm a huge, I love motorcycles. And for me, I had to park my Harley like in front of my wife's car. So when I was going out in the summertime, I'd have to move her car, put it down the cul-de-sac, come back, get my bike, back it out, put the car back in, close the garage, then I have to do the whole damn thing over again. So a 2-car garage, I totally forgot that's a must. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it. Okay, awesome. What else have I missed? People will fill in the blanks for you when you give them the opportunity. Don't assume you know everything. Launch a recap. Let somebody tell you the story. They will tell you where you're about to go wrong. So next, recommendation. This is easy. This is the easy part. When you've built rapport with family, occupation, recreation, dreams, you've asked open-ended questions, you found out the location, price, motivation amount, working with an agent. What have we done in the meantime? We've understood, well, what their previous experiences look like. We kind of recapped, and we now know really what they're looking for, like what they're looking at doing. We know timeframes, we know everything. What do? Dog chasing a car. Congrats, you got one. You got it like right by the bumper. You got this thing. What do? Now what? So for me, there's 2 recommendations that I like. This is one of them. Recommendation number 1 is, hey, so based on our conversation, the next logical step is to set up a time where me, you, Jen, we can get together. And it's my job to make sure I can pull you away from the keyboard, get you some context for today's market. It's no obligation whatsoever. We're actually want to make sure we're not buying anything, but I want to get you out so you got a greater understanding of what's happening in the real estate market in these neighborhoods fairly quickly. I call this an exploratory tour or an educational tour. So what works better for you? It's going to be about 60 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Weekends, weekdays, afternoons, evenings. Talk to me. Exploratory tour. Get people out. Get them away from the keyboard. We don't want people behind the keyboard. Humans don't like delayed gratification. And what you'll find is when you get people away from the keyboard, you'll see people start to go, well, so the bed, I don't know if that would fit here. So if we were to do it, like, here's kind of the things I would do. And you'll start seeing people asking buying questions. But if we just inundate people with like, I'm going to send you some searches and like next week we'll talk about the searches, it doesn't really move anything forward. Launch an educational tour. But before every educational tour, hey, so before we get together on Saturday, I do want to jump on a 15 to 20 minute Zoom call or Google Meets, or I do want to get together for 15 to 20 minutes with you and Jen. It's really important that there's some things I want to go over. Number 1, I want to arm you with like the tools and technology to help you handpick properties. So I get a really good sense of what's important to you. But most importantly, I want to make sure that your spouse, your partner, your friend, your brother, your sister, the kids, everybody's on the same page and understands my process. When you don't get people on the same page, like if Jen said to me, hey, so I signed up on the site and this agent's actually going to take us out and show us a bunch of properties. The first thing I would say is, well, no, one of my best friends, his name is Adam Winans from the Winans Cook real estate team. I'm like, no, I'm just going to call Adam. Like, no, just like let that one burn. Like, dude, don't even worry about showing up for that Zoom meeting. Like, he's a real estate agent. They'll understand. Let me just give Adam a shout. Get all parties invested because everybody knows 3 real estate agents. Get everybody included as fast as you possibly can. And also what happens is if you've built rapport and trust with me and now we go look at a home and I'm showing up meeting your spouse for the first time at the home, well, my job is to build rapport and trust with them. Their job is to shut me up and take in the home. I'm trying to build rapport. They're trying to look at the home. Do those 2 goals intersect? No. Which is why you never meet clients for the first time at a property other than safety and security. I have an absolute horror story about that. Some of you guys have heard it, and it's super rough, and it's bad, and it's sad, and it's horrible, but safety and security is primary, and number 2 is making sure that everybody's on the same page. So that's recommendation number 1. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about recommendation number 2, which is, wait a minute, they're like 6 months out, 1 year out, 10 years out. They're helping somebody. They're helping a brother, a sister, an aunt, and uncle. It's not for that party. I'm going to be giving you an alternate recommendation. So you're going to get recommendation number 2. Also comes with book a meeting from a meeting. So brace yourself for that one. So this is lead conversion 101, a lot of acronyms. It is a lot of theory. And if you want to cut your teeth, and you want to actually get good at this, not just mediocre, tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, you know where I'll be. Where will you be? Because this week is all about lead conversion. Now, I don't have a session that runs after this. I've got the next 15 minutes. So I'm going to sit here until every question is answered around lead conversion, because that's how important this is to me. So I'm going to sit here and chill. Session is officially done, but I'm not going anywhere. I will answer any question around lead conversion that you have. Hit me. Jake, right out of the gate, buddy. You're always good for a question.
Always good. What's a healthy amount of leads monthly, do you think, coming in? Like if, like before I had 40, I've had times where I have 60. Like, what do you think is realistic and a good amount that's giving you good, turnover rate?
What's realistic is what your budget can handle.
Yeah.
So I would say in the beginning, focus it really highly around your budget. The last thing you want to do is overspend on a lead gen campaign. And then all of a sudden you're like, understanding that it's like 6 to 8 months for these to really, like, you might find that needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
But until you've built in a lot of the drip campaigns and a lot of the pieces, like the email marketing play, it's really tough for them to convert right now. So I would say plan for at least 6 months. And then with a great campaign manager, that'll dictate how many leads a month you're getting.
Okay.
I would say ideally, if you could get like 1 a day, that's phenomenal. If you can get 30 in a month.
Okay.
I think that's a great start. But at the same time, again, just invest what you're able to invest and carry for 4 to 6 months, knowing that it takes a little while for these to convert.
All right.
Does that help?
That helps, Joe.
Well, thanks, Jake. I like to help. Never hurts to help. All right. What else you got? Anybody else have any questions around lead conversion for me? I can ask me literally, figuratively, anything. Hi, Ann. What you got, bro?
Yeah. Okay. So, a very common thing that I'm encountering, especially with people that are quite experienced with real estate, maybe bought or sold multiple homes, is you're dealing with a lot of egos at play and a lot of people that know what they're doing, right? And a lot of the times we want to be assertive and take command, but that can become very argumentative and combative, especially when it's a new person. So how do you approach those conversations and open them up to it while not, let's say, offending their ego or shooting yourself down in the process?
Okay, that's a really great point, right? I mean, you get a lot of those people that are like keyboard cowboys or like, I know everything, you don't know anything. It's like, well, great. I mean, you can ask them, say, hey, so how long have you been a real estate agent for?
Yeah.
I mean, not that you want to say that. I'm just like being
definitely wouldn't go well at all.
But again, I think it's so important in this instance to really, again, focus on like what is the why? What was it that brought them to the site? So again, it's really about understanding the why. So for example, it could be like an investment property. It could be like a third or fourth or fifth investment property. Well, then you want to change it. So what is it about right now that makes it ideal to start adding to that portfolio? Really talk to me about some of the real estate experiences that you've had in the past that have been great, that haven't been great. There's a lot of things in this script that'll help you circumvent that and bring people down because you're actually asking thought-provoking questions versus yes or no. Focus more on the actual asking of questions versus just seeking to get the information. Because when you can actually open people up, find more about the why. So can you give me an example of what a response might be that would sort of trigger that in you? What's something that somebody could say? Or is it just like a tone?
I mean, this is actually a great example. I had a listing appointment yesterday, 85-year-old fella. He almost treated this listing as if he's doing me a favor. Like, if you don't come here, I'll give it to someone else type of thing. Right. Okay. So I counter that a lot with people that have been there for 30, 40 years. Right. So.
Sure. Yeah. So hey, let me ask you, what are the top 3 most important items that I cover with you when I sit down and go through this listing? Because it sounds like you've got some experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Just come in. Yeah.
Ask. Say, hey, okay, so before I come in, I want to make sure that we're making the most effective use of your time because it sounds like you're really seasoned and tenured in real estate, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's that going to do? Just brings them right back down.
Yeah. A lot of times a lot of times I honestly give them the compliment, be like, you know what, that's great. You're actually making my job a lot easier. It's refreshing to, chat with someone that knows what they're doing. And then I just take it from there. So I try to pivot it away from you versus me, rather it's you versus the problem, right?
It's us versus the market is really what it is. So my job is to come in and show you what strategies are working right here, right now, for us to be able to do A, B, and C at market rate, if not better. And I really respect the experience that you have.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Me and you against the market. It's not me versus you. We. Great. So you know what? For me, I want to come in and I want to show you some of the things that we're implementing right here, right now that are very current and helping us do A, B, and C. Because my job is to get you here, here, and here at market rate or better. My job is to actually either make you money, save you time, mitigate some of the risk, and make sure that you're having a great time doing it. So I know there isn't like a rock solid, oh, just say this, but it's articulating your value statement, giving that compliment, and understanding that we're a team. It's me and you against the market. The market is like that third person in the room. It's that ghost that we're looking at.
Yeah. What about the demeanor and the tone aspect of it? Of encountering, let's say, an assertive, dominant personality type without putting yourself down.
Just match.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If somebody's talking quick, you match. Did you sit through the session where I talked about disc profiles?
Yeah, I've gone through that extensively, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So again, just mix and match. So hey, like I want to make sure I'm making the most of our time together. So if there's questions you have or ways that you want me to communicate outside of this conversation, what's the best method of communication for you? I want to respect your time, right? Versus, hey, so I'll tell you what, I'd love to come back in tomorrow. Let's put the coffee on and let's have a chat. So what's the difference, right? It's that mix and the match. You can actually go back and I in one of the screen flows that I had, I was like, hey, here are the top 5 things that you can say to mix and match your energy with somebody else's. So sometimes it's, again, knowing if somebody's super assertive, you need to be super assertive. If they're being very, very passive and calm, well, then you need to be a little bit more passive and calm. So match. I would say match, create the me and you against the market, congratulate people on their experience, give them that compliment. And one thing that people love, they love this, is new information.
See.
New information. Hey, you know what? I really respect that you've been doing this a really long time. You bought and sold 15 houses in the past. And I'm really excited to take your knowledge and mix that with some of the new information I have about today's market. People love new information. So there's another strategy that you can implement.
That's good.
My job, honestly, is to come in and number one, like, absolutely, like, I love working with people that are experienced in the market. Thank you so much. That's so refreshing. My job is to come in, understand what you're looking for, and show you some of the new tactics that have emerged since you've been super active in real estate. And I can't wait to hear your experiences and show you how this information is going to actually enhance that. People love new information, man.
It's wonderful. Thank you. That's good. That's good.
Oh, man. All right. Any other questions? What other questions you got for me? Hit me with anything. Absolutely anything. Got to be one more.
Yeah, I have one.
Sure.
When you were talking about, oh shoot, what was it?
I don't know. I ramble.
Oh, I know. I have to go back and remember.
I'm not lying. I do. What you got?
No. You were talking about the empathy, and you were talking about the dog. Okay, and then you went real deep on, what do you feed him? Were you saying that was too deep?
Yes.
Okay, so yes. There's a cutoff at some point.
There's a cutoff, and that's when the script is absolutely magical. If you've got that in front of you, it will stop you from going deep.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that you want to go deep on, the one element is the why. You want to go deep on that first question. That's the question to go deep on. Like how deep? Like deep, I would say deep like a halibut, like bottom of the ocean, skimming on the bottom. Like you're there for 20 minutes putting the line out. That's how deep you want to go. Oh, wow. So space, that's space is a super interesting word. Like talk to me. What does lack of space mean for you?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. So what are some of the constraints? Like what have you felt? Because human nature will tell us not one person on God's green earth, not one person will move towards pleasure until they have experienced an insurmountable amount of pain.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you an example. So for me, I used to be 265 pounds. I sweat a lot and I snort a lot and my knees hurt and my back hurts. And I didn't realize that until I put my back out shoveling snow. And then I consistently now have gone to the gym 4 days per week for over 3 years. And for the first time ever, I'm knocking on the door of 199 pounds in 3 years. I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't like put my back out and looked at myself being like, I can't do this. Like, this is enough. That was enough for me to go, I want to make a change. And it unlocked everything. Prospects are no different. They might knock on the door for change, but they might not want it to actually answer. When you can get deep on the why and you can hit that pain point, sometimes people talking about it, they start to realize that the problem's like, I wasn't going to lose weight because I just wanted to lose weight. Or I love that. I manifested it. I could have manifested my fat ass getting skinny. But what it did is it allowed me to start manifesting what that plan could be in my own mind. So it's so important. Get deep on that first question, like the dog and things like that. Yes, you want to connect, but you want to maybe ask 1 or 2 questions and then lead back into the script. How will that happen? You'll have the script in front of you and you'll see it. Oh crap, we spent like 5 minutes talking about a dog and I haven't even asked like who the spouse is or how they feel about the move. Damn it. And you'll know.
Right. And
You'll
then
know.
they have to go.
Yep.
So
And here's kind of an interesting story. And some people listen to this and some people don't. And I knew a guy, and his name was Jonathan Carroll, John Carroll. John Carroll was a student of mine back in 2020 up until about 2023-ish. And he was in Vero Beach, Florida. They call it the Space and Treasure Coast. I love that. I wish I lived in Vero Beach, Florida. John did about 150 transactions per year. It was him and his wife and a buyer's agent named Priscilla. And I said to John, how'd you do 150 transactions knowing 100 of those were listings? He was a listings guy. How did you do that? He was like, well, I pick up the phone and I call people, call my past clients. I got leads coming in. I call. He goes, I spend 5 hours per day on the phone. And I'm like, oh, talk to me about that process. He goes, I take every script that I use. I take every script, every objection, every possible permutation, every recommendation and the ones that I gave him. He goes, I have them on a giant piece of cardboard. And I put that piece of cardboard beside my computer every morning. Even if I don't use the scripts, I know they're there. And that's what he did. 5 hours a day. And he was doing 150 deals a year. But what did he do? He just had it in front of him so that he knew he could never get too deep on one question. He knew if an objection came up, and he was confident that he could handle it. But if he ever couldn't, it was right there. So he could always stay directionally correct. And it was like almost like he did, and he showed it to me once. He ended up running a podcast, and I was super flattered because I was actually the first guest on his pod. You can go find the podcast. It's there. Yeah, it's like he brought me in, and I think he even showed me. It was like a science project, like this giant piece of cardboard that like folded on 2 edges, and he would like fold it out and put it down in front of his computer, and it just had everything. Every conversation was mapped, and that's how he could convert. Having it in front of him. But people try to guess these scripts. Oh yeah, I sat through like 2 hours of scripting. Cool, yeah, I know what I'm doing. No, it's not quite how it works, right? I mean, this dude like was an assassin. He was a trained like Aikido like ninja. Still had the scripts, even though he never used them. So yeah, that's how you avoid getting too deep on the wrong thing. Have your map and your compass. Any other questions? And you can even go find that podcast. That podcast was back when I was 265 pounds and I had hair down to my shoulders. And it was like 3 years ago. Now y'all going to go look for that podcast. I think it was like they're sweating through the podcast and stuff. Any other questions? Going once.
I'll just give an observation.
Yeah, buddy.
Because I've always done heavy spend for lead generation.
Yes,
and
sir.
Through everything for the last couple of years, we still continued with it. And those people just didn't even contact us. Like they were just falling basically into the lead, right? Well, those leads from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago right now, they're actually answering. We've done a re-engagement campaign, and those people are actually coming to life. It's crazy to see. But that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize. They've just written those leads off. And then now they're actually people that were like, hey, you know what? We'd love to do it now. But I mean, obviously, we're not going to get a 7% interest rate, or, you know, we're going to hold our equity because, you know, things are going to change. Now those people are coming to life. So it's, you know, if anybody's got leads that they were, you know, buying or caring for or nurturing 2-3 years ago, they thought were gone. Don't give up.
Yeah.
You got to get back on those ones.
Man, what an amazing, amazing observation, Lane. That is so true. Like we were converting leads in like 2023, 2024 from like 2020. And remember, like average agent touches a lead 1.2 times. Conversion happens at 7.6. And it's that constant like reminder. It's like that piece of value that goes out. And a major play of that is email marketing.
Yep.
Like it's email marketing 101. You've got a database. How do you keep them warm? Like what are you sending them month in, month out that they're like, oh wow, okay, well I don't need it this month, but hey, next month, oh wait, there's that deal of the week. What the hell is this? Holy, I know that house. Yeah, we looked at it like 3 years ago. No, go back. Like you'd be shocked when people just go like, ping. It happens, and sometimes again, it takes like 2-3 years after that initial conversation, or sometimes they don't even answer. Look at the guy that signed up that Langdon converted. Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
We never even talked to the guy. What was that?
Lead.
Yeah.
Must have I've got like 14 of fuck offs in my right now.
Oh yeah. Or like go away or like piss off.
Go fuck yourself. That's
right. And to me, I love those. And as long as you have one piece, give me one piece and I'll give you something, man. In the words of the warrior poet, John Lennon, give me a tuba and I'll give you something out of it. Why? Because I'm an artist. Right? Give me one thing, and I can make something of it, man. I respect that game and I respect that hustle. Amazing insight to wrap this thing up. So with that, everybody, scripting, running all week, lead conversion. We got handling objections on Friday. That's something everybody could use practice on. So with that, very final announcement, be there tomorrow. Prompt CMA. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's freaking amazing. We'll see.